Have you ever wondered why we feel more isolated than ever, even though we have tons of things to connect us, like social media? And also at the same time, why do friendships seem a lot more shallow? And people seems like they're more connected by trivial things than actually going very deep and having those genuine connections. The portion of this is due to cancel culture. And if you don't know what cancel culture is, and here is the definition according to Urban Dictionary, because it's not exactly an official term, it's like a slang kind of. But here it is. Canceling is as to dismiss something or somebody and to reject an individual or an idea. To disagree with someone, honestly, it's not a problem. But the key factor here that makes it different and very difficult is the fact that cancel culture means blocking out someone completely because you don't like the person for basically whatever reason and you block that person out. And in my opinion, I feel like this is making society feel more isolated than ever. And for this particular video, we are going to explore its impact on social anxiety and particularly friendships. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and of course the bell. The outline goes like this. The 3 points that I want to talk about is first is of course anxiety. When you have a more isolated community, you don't really know what other people are thinking about. Individuals are in smaller groups, but then there's no collective whole, and to me that really causes that anxiety. 2. The second point is there's less real friendships. We'll get into that because when you have a more split off society, community, it's really difficult to create real friendships when everything's formed on something so shallow. And third, there is more isolation, which is kind of obvious, but there's a reason and different points I want to talk about that's really shaping this landscape. First, let's talk about anxiety and why cancel culture elevates anxiety. Let's say you were talking to someone and you made a joke about this person's haircut. However, the thing that you did not know was that the person's girlfriend cut the person's hair for him. So, by making fun of that person's haircut, the person thinks that you are making fun of his girlfriend. And he ain't gonna let that happen. So, as a result, he X'd you out of his life. And the worst part about this is that when the person X'd you out, you basically have no idea what's happening. He cut you off from social media, he cut you off on friends groups, he cut you out of everything. You have no idea what's going on, and you don't even know what's wrong, basically. And it really just came out of absolutely nowhere. On his side, is there a proper reason? Yeah, it seems kind of reasonable. But from your side, this just skyrockets your anxiety. Because from your vantage point, you have no idea where this came from. You don't know the reason, you don't know the circumstance, it just, bam, just happened. So when this happens, you're literally going into every social, friendships, relationships, being extremely cautious about everything that you say, because in the back of your mind, you're like, man, if I say something wrong, offend someone, I might just get kicked out, or that person would just suddenly leave for no reason. And that's a really terrible feeling, and I'm not sure if I will even categorize that as even a friendship, because you're literally just walking on eggshells around the person all the time, and that's not fun. Now this leads us to our next point, less real friendships. But just on a side note here, doesn't this really make people feel very selfish and mean? I mean, are people actually bad intentioned? A lot of them, probably not. But the perception and how we feel about other people, that is based on their actions. And here, this is what's happening. Heightened anxiety, and now we're getting to the point where this makes a lot of the relationships seem a lot more superficial, a lot more shallow. I think the big question that should be asked here is that when you exclude every single person that disagrees with you on different topics and you only have people that you like in your circle, would you still have real friendships? And personally, I don't think so. Because why? Because real friends wouldn't agree with you all the time. Let's say you have Tom here, and Tom thinks 2 plus 2 equals 5. A real friend would tell Tom that 2 plus 2 is not equal to 5 and you're wrong. Or else Tom will go to his interviews and say 2 plus 2 equals 5 and get kicked out and never get any good opportunities in life. However, if Tom removed all the friendships that he didn't like because he's into the whole cancel culture thing, then he's only left with different types of people that will not tell him that 2 plus 2 isn't equal to 5. So majority of the people that will be left within his friend group would be 1, the people that also think 2 plus 2 equals to 5. 2, the people who are too scared to tell him that 2 plus 2 actually isn't equal to 5. And 3, people that just don't care about what happens. So you can see here that Tom doesn't know that 2 plus 2 equals to 5. And he might never know what the real answer to that question is. And he will have a lot of friends, but will he be able to have real friends that will tell him what is right and what is wrong? He might not get a lot of true friends, and that is a huge problem. Now take that and apply cancel culture to it, and apply it to all different categories of life. And you can start to see a lot of separation between people. Honestly, this creates even more isolation. With the current state, it's not bad enough that social anxiety is already something that's increasing over time. But right now, cancel culture adds even another layer to it, making us even more separated. So we have this huge social media platform to kind of escalate and bring out different kinds of people and making the groups a lot more diverse. But these groups are becoming smaller and people actually can't connect with real people a lot more. So think about isolation from this way in terms of cancel culture. If people only talked with people that agree with them, or the ones that they want to talk with, the groups are naturally going to be smaller. And as a result, more isolated. Not because people have done anything wrong, it's just that people are less willing to talk to people that share different opinions than what they have. And smaller groups would just make people feel a lot more distant from everyone else, because everyone that's in a group would think that, man, everyone else is in a different group. And because they are not in the immediate group as the other person, suddenly they feel more isolated, more excluded, and more distant. When in reality, this might be happening a lot more with a lot more people that are just simply isolated because people aren't willing to talk to people that are different. And you can also see that social media isn't exactly making this easier, because you can see everyone's judgments online. You can compare everyone's lives to yours whenever you go on it. And all these things are creating more distance. And social media becomes like this hub that everyone goes to show off their cool self. In reality, this whole cancel culture is kind of splitting us apart and making us feel more alone than what we're used to. Overall, you can see that I'm not really a big fan of cancel culture because it really fragments the society. And this is especially making things worse for the people that struggle with social anxiety and that simply just want to connect with the community. Just have friends with, to laugh with, without feeling like everyone's gonna suddenly judge every single thing that they say. Because that is really tiring. Like, you can't just go there and just be yourself without people thinking badly about you. And that's it. If you feel like this video has been helpful in some way, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will talk to you guys next time.